couple of things while we're waiting for this to load. I got a new light in here, and it is bright as crap. It's one of those like LED spider lights for the garage, and I may have to tone it down or put something in front of where the projector is, because it's kind of blasting out the projector at the moment. So if it looks terrible, let me know in the comments below. We'll adjust it. I was going to turn the ground around where I hit into a putting green, and so that's what kind of prompted. I needed a little more light in here. I'm going to add another layer of these foam mats, and then a layer or two of the artificial turf, just cheap stuff, and spray adhesive or glue it all down, and then cut some little holes and put maybe a little border around it to contain it so it looks like a green. And then you'll just kind of step onto it and hit out of the middle, and then if you really want, you could putt to each hole, or you could practice putting on the side. So that's a long-term goal. The other one I'm going to do is the ceiling up here. I think I've got it figured out, but I'm going to get it checked out by a structural engineer and make sure that I can take out at least the cross beams and the drywall and get an extra foot or so. And then if I do that, it's possible I can open it all the way up, and then maybe one day vault this ceiling so that this goes up about 3 or 4 feet more above me and then slants away to the edge of the roof, so that there's a lot of room and it feels really open. It will not be lefty friendly, but other than that, I'm pretty excited about it. So the light is pretty bright on the projector screen, but I think it'll be okay for now, and we'll get to going. We're at Traditions Golf Club today, and I'll let the narrator take over.
Alright guys, we find ourselves today at the Traditions Golf and Country Club. We got ourselves a Pac-Man course today. Always in for a treat there. You can tell we may be up against a pretty tough course here. A lot of slopes going straight off the fairway. Able to hit a little 6-degree piercer on one. Ends up in the rough 164 up the hill. Looks like it falls off to the right pretty bad. Playing a fade in there. That was probably the safe play and a good contact and a good shot. Heading over to 2. We are definitely in some sort of a neighborhood. We got narrow fairways, drop-offs, out of bounds, all kinds of stuff. Little spinny here on 2. 3,000's not bad for me though. It goes right though, ends up in the rough. It's a par 5, and it looks like there's water up ahead, which I'm hitting into for some reason. What an insane layup.
51 in here today.
I'm showing you that it just started getting cold in the garage, playing in the 50s today. That's the safe play as well. You don't want to squirt that right and short. So left and long. Par on the card on that par 5 where we almost dunked it in the water. And we'll head over to 3, 1, 4, 2. So far, I really like just like the layout of the first 3 holes. The look of the course. We got this fairway rough cut sloping off each individual feature, like fairway or green or bunker, and then some pretty severe false fronts and stuff on some of these holes. So a bogey there with a bad little approach chip, and we'll head over to the 4th, which is a short par 5 from this one. If I recall, we'll check the yardage at the end, but I think this might be a pretty short course. Pretty fun one though, I must say. Getting some rippling on my graphics here on this, but could just be the recording. This thing coming off dead straight. It didn't go anywhere though. That needed to go 20 yards farther. Now trying to find 28 for a birdie, and it will happen. Short par 5 taken advantage of there. And we'll head over to 5. You can see this one dives down left, and you got this ravine in front of you. Looks like just a 3-wood off the tee. Maybe not even a 3-wood, maybe a hybrid. Out in the middle of the fairway, 167 remaining up the hill a little. Definitely playing the fade today. Looks good though. Back-to-back birdies there. And a decent shot in on 5. Zooming over to 6. A 371 yard par 4. Shoulders are really staying linear there, but that one's going to be fine. I would like to see some right side bend maybe. Throwing this one up just left of the hole. Yardage felt good, and it settles in just about 6 yards from the flag for an easy 2-putt par in our imaginary putting. If you're new to the channel, you made it this far, make sure to hit like, subscribe, little bell notification. I try and pump out videos as much as possible, and we are in the GSPRO software at the moment. You can find some reviews of like Awesome Golf and the Garmin Golf app and some other stuff in my catalog there. I think we're up to like 700 videos or something crazy, but so far since the last 2 years we've been doing GSPRO courses, which they're up to like 655 courses now. And then I've had the Garmin R10 launch monitor since the pre-order. I got one of the very first ones, and it's been amazing tool for me. I love it. I review these rounds and take note of the shots I played well and kind of how I moved and what the trigger was and where my balance was, and just try and get better. And that's basically how the channel started. And if you want to come along for each round as we kind of look at these GSPRO courses, give the designers a lot of credit. I can't imagine how long it takes to do some of this stuff. And so Pac-Man's one of the best. It's definitely one of the most featured in all of the GSPRO catalog. 158, a weird little throwaway push up the hill, but it works out. An interesting swing there, just trying to like get compression, and then gave up on it, but it made it stay low. So maybe something to remember for next time. That's got to be the best drive of the day, stats wise. 144, 231 carry at sea level. So when it says carry raw, that's just like if you took the stats at sea level in a vacuum on a flat surface, what would the carry be? And so I like to know that to see if I even have a chance of getting it there. Now we're at elevation. 2,000 feet is what I have GSPRO set to, which coincides more with my yardages. If I set it down, I think Oklahoma's at, correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but it's a little under 2,000 feet. And so I could dial it back, but when I go out and play, 2,000 feet is more close to my yardages, whether that's a Garmin R10 problem or just a indoor tracking issue or whatever. I'm not sure, but that's what's worked for me. So I'm glad that it's something that's even customizable. That was we replaced the best drive of the day with a new best drive of the day, and then playing something out of the rough, and just it didn't fade at all. Went dead straight. You never really want to be like jumping backwards at impact, but it worked on that one. 76. Hit it 100. Jesus. And like right there, you can see the raw numbers were 97, but because it was in the rough and I lost some spin and blah, 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 it ends up being like 92. So you can kind of get a gauge of how the rough works and all that stuff. All right, par 3, 200. I do see my feet moving a lot. Just getting the balance shifting back and forth seems to be a swing thought that I had this night, and I don't hate it, to be honest. It looks pretty good on camera as far as like being balanced and getting to a good impact position. It looks pretty good. Oh, I must have been doing workout golf too. Rough. 400 yard par 4. I think these are the blue tees. And another good one. We'll take 140, mid 140 ball speed with 3,000 spin or below. I think that's kind of like the secret sauce for me. Now here we explore these false front type mounds around the green. Head over to the right. This one's not one of the worst, but we totally hack job it out. And then trying to find 7. Decent effort there, but it had the vertical launch at 22 and it went an inch off the ground. So interesting choice there by GSPRO in the terrain. 122 should just be a smoothie P wedge. What club is that? Yeah, it's the P wedge. Decent effort. Probably didn't click that one very good, but we're already to 15. We got a couple holes here left. 328 yard par 4, but it's kind of dog leg, so you can cut it. I went for the straight shot at the green, get it as close as possible, try and chip it up and close. It's a good strategy. But I hooded the approach and launched it 70. So, if you don't execute, what are you going to do? From 22 now, that kind of seemed left also. Don't want to pull your hands across and turn your palm down on most chips. Like a back foot wedge out of a tough lie or something, maybe out of a divot. But so this one was only 230 to the little edge of the cliff there. There's a pretty big chasm, so just a layup off the tee. Ends up in a good place though. 170. Yeah, I don't hate the swing tonight. That was a little out to in and it sprayed it, but contact looks good and the weight shifting looks decent. Oh, does not pay off. The little follow through and hold on the chip. That late bogey on 16 is going to bring us only to +1. It's been a pretty solid round so far. 157 par 3. A lot of areas to miss here. But playing a decent look, it's just far, it's just deep. Gotta chip this one back down the hill 20 now. Hang on. Oh, just barely. Hangs on for a late par. It'd be nice to birdie the final par 5. Look at this cool hole. Got like a creek running through it. Severe slope on your second shot going up the hill. Let's start off with a good drive. I consider that a good drive. Now headed up the hill. Looks like 3-wood in hand. Just sending it on its way. Oh, you know what that is? That's like a really early Callaway warbird that I was playing around with. Turned out okay though. 220. And then just butchered the next shot. The wedges were really pulley during this round, but a +1 around traditions from the blue tees, which were 6,300 yards. Saturday pins, 2 birds, a 35 on the front. And a 38 on the back. Let's see some stats real quick. 13 pars, 27 putts, not really great greens, not really great fairways. And we will see you at the next course. Peace.